But amidst that, members will recall that there has been a lot of developments, or a lot of an hourly development, as when we are analyzing this part. There's another development that comes, criminal cases have been opened, and the presentation will also cover the sub judice rule on what approach should we take. The public protector would have confirmed to have received a complaint and is attending to the matter. In terms of the Executive Members Ethics Act, the Ethics Committee of Parliament would have also confirmed to be in possession of a complaint by one of the members of the National Assembly. So there are a lot of developments, but what then rests with us is that we take a serious concern to what would have been raised by General Mkhwanazi, because our view is simple that it has got a direct impact in the safety of the South African people. And if that's the conviction that we all have, then it means therefore Parliament must act decisively in trying to circumvent the situation that we are in for the best interest of the people of South Africa. Because the problem that may be an unintended consequence may be that we may disregard this matter. The people of South Africa lose confidence into the police service, and when they do, take the law into their hands, and South Africa becomes a lawless country, which is a situation we all should work very hard to avoid. I was reading a report yesterday from the Human Sciences Research Council. It says the level of confidence of the people of South Africa into the police service is on the historic lower level, which is some of the things that must concern ourselves. So members, we are to then deliberate on the presentations that are going to be done by the Constitutional and Legal Services of Parliament and shape what Parliament should do in trying to attend to this matter. I know members of the Portfolio Committee on Police might be privy to some of the information which us as justice are not. So it's also serves as a best platform for information sharing, that maybe in executing your oversight role, you would have encountered some of the issues that would have been raised by the Provincial Commissioner of KwaZulu-Natal. So it will best inform what shape do we take in terms of the advice to Parliament in trying to deal with the matter for the best interest of the people of South Africa. So members, we are all welcome. You feel free to engage robustly on the matter. It actually warrants us to do so as the representatives of the people. So I'll hand over to the co-chair to also make some opening remarks. Thank you very much for your attention, members. Co-chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, everybody, and welcome as well from my side. I'm going to touch on, Chair, if it's okay with you, just maybe go over the exact instructions of the Speaker, that everyone is on the same page. The background and the purpose, and this I'm quoting directly from the Speaker's instruction, is further to the Speaker's request to the relevant committees to consider the allegations against the Minister of Police and others, and with due regard for the President's publicly stated intention to address the matter, the Speaker considers it appropriate that the matter be fully considered by the National Assembly. In furtherance of this objective, and given the urgency and seriousness of the allegations, the committees are requested to consider the matter urgently in terms of their respective mandates. The committees are to take an assessment on the appropriate approach and to submit a joint report to the National Assembly by no later than 23 July. The report must contain recommendations on the mechanism and process to be followed in dealing with the matter. And the second part, in an attempt to guide the committees, the following may be considered. 1. Conduct a preliminary assessment and obtain factual clarity on the allegations. 2. Have due regard to the processes that the President is reportedly engaging in. 3. Make recommendations based on the assessment conducted and formulate proposals for an appropriate parliamentary action as deemed necessary. And then the third point. As per stated above, the joint report must be submitted to the House by no later than 23 July 2025. It must contain 3 things. 1, a summary of findings. 2, recommendations for further action. And 3, any proposals the committees consider appropriate for the expeditious resolution of the matter. And then lastly, in terms of the process, the committees must conduct their business in accordance with the National Assembly rules, specifically rules 167 and 227. The next point is, to the extent possible, confer with each other to expedite and avoid duplication. And then lastly, in the report, reflect on any action already taken by the President or other relevant enforcement agencies in addressing the matter. Before we hand over for the presentation by Parliament's legal team, I think it's important to just lay some, or put down some ground or important points before we start. The allegations made, obviously, and we're preaching to the choir, expose very, very deep alleged institutional failures in the law enforcement and also the justice system as a whole. And it really has become a crisis of integrity. Parliament has a constitutional duty to hold the executive, South African Police Service, Justice Department, etc., as the co-chair said, and other implicated entities accountable as provided for in Section 55 and 199 of the Constitution and our National Assembly rules, as already explained. While the President has appointed a Judicial Commission of Inquiry, that process does not suspend or replace Parliament's immediate oversight responsibilities. Today, the task that we have is to consider and to decide what parliamentary oversight process or forum we will use to pursue and address the specific crisis, and to ensure we are able to report back to the National Assembly in the set time frame. Oversight must be conducted transparently and with discipline without compromising any ongoing investigation or judicial process. It must also be noted that there were allegations made in Parliament as well, along with the other relevant departments, and Parliament will need to develop an appropriate management plan to deal with that matter too. This is precisely also then regarding or must be included in terms of the process that is recommended after our collaboration and discussions today. An impartial and untainted security and justice leadership is critical to maintaining the rule of law and public trust. And I think there are 3 critical principles out of today. Integrity, leadership, and discipline are likely the foundation of what we are working with. I'm going to hand over back to the co-chair to announce the rest of the deliberations.
Thank you very much, Co-Chair. Now we'll call members the Parliamentary Constitutional and Legal Services of Parliament to the presentation. Who is doing the presentation? Yeah, you can take the podium. We can, because I'm worried. Okay, I'm going to come to you. Because I'm worried if you're seated there, members sitting this side will struggle to see you. So
I thought all they require is my voice, Chairperson.
No, it's always important to do an eye contact as well. Honorable Mattis.
I'm going to be the only speaker here today, clearly. Chair, just one more thing. I just wanted to be noted that this legal opinion, we have a chairperson there for police who unilaterally takes decisions. I don't want to get too much into it, but we were not even given an opportunity to say we knew that there was going to be a request for a legal opinion. And next minute we get their legal opinion. So there wasn't even a draft or something that came back and said, do you have any inputs? Because there were things that we would have liked to also include and get a legal opinion. So Parliament can't be run by individuals and PTYs and LTDs, whether it's the DA or Ian Cameron himself. So now we have a legal opinion of something that's supposed to represent an entire committee. And none of the committee members, well, at least not myself, and maybe EFF was excluded, and maybe the other committee members can advise whether they were asked for input or what exactly they would like the legal opinion to include as well. So if that can just be noted. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. That's noted. What we have done, we have said the Constitutional and Legal Services of Parliament must formulate a legal opinion. We indeed have said these are the critical aspects where they must actually deal with advising the joint committee. But also you'll remember, members, that it's an opinion that we must all interact with. We may agree with certain aspects, we may disagree with certain aspects, because the decision that ought to be taken here actually rests with members. So, but that's noted, Honourable Member. Honourable Manyi, you wanted to raise something?
No, Manche was on a light note to say you need to lead by example and introduce yourselves. Thank you.
I did. I did when I opened the meeting. I did introduce myself. Honorable Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chairs. In fact, I just want to concur with my colleague that if the legal opinion was sought, why are we given only now? Let me just, whether in the last 12 hours or 24 hours, I think we have to be given an opportunity as well to make an input, because now we are not sure whether that legal opinion was, I don't want to use the wrong word, but I don't want to say that that legal opinion was given because people were given directives. It would like I'm undermining them, but I guess we're supposed to be told, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Skosana. No, members, part of what became our weakness was a shortage of time that we're given. It was only finalized yesterday, if I'm quite accurate. So we apologize for the late sharing of the advice. And as I said, the advice is just an advice, members, in terms of critical legal issues that would possibly affect the issues. So we are always open to say in this aspect, we don't agree with the approach of the legal advice or the presentation and stuff. So, but the concerns members are actually noted. Honorable Mvalo.
Yeah, thank you very much. No, Chair, I just want to propose a way forward as the guidance that I think you must provide to the committee, that members must be allowed to ask questions which relate to things which are not within the scope that has been given by the chair to the legal advice team. So if there are issues, for instance, which are outside the questions that the legal team was supposed to respond to, we must be allowed to raise them for as long as they are within the context of this committee.
Thank you, Honorable Mvalo. That's definitely correct. That's why I said it's an advice that we must interact with. We may agree with certain aspects and not agree with others, and feel that there is an omission on a particular matter, and therefore it should have been covered. So that's how we're going to proceed, Honorable Mvalo. Thanks. Honorable Adams.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I just think it's a little bit amateurish, considering the sensitivity and the importance of this meeting, that Parliament comes back here with a legal opinion. You should be coming back here with a legal finding, because an opinion is something that can be challenged. A finding is something that an attorney is saying, I am willing to risk my practitioner's license on what I'm committing to paper. So in the interest of transparency, Chairperson, considering where we're going, I think we need to step up a little bit. Thank you.
Remember, in terms of the terms of reference from the Speaker, the findings are supposed to be done by you, not the Legal Services Unit. So that responsibility, Honorable Adams, is given to you, not the officials of the Legal Services Unit. We are here to do that finding and present to Parliament. Honorable Shabani.